So where are we at, brother?
Alright, so we are not far from the Earth and the Moon. I parked over here just so I can be closer to the inner planets for things, but this here is the med bay. We'll be here frequently because the ship, for the most part, is not airtight. I'm still working on that part. Apparently this hull is somewhat airtight, so this hull right outside, this is our left side, port side of the ship, little airlock over there. Right now I just started blocking off chunks of it with those arches, because I know those glitch the ship, or at least the airtightness, so I can figure out what is and is not airtight and still be able to walk around. For these lights, I'm trying to do something consistent with them, so they're going to be on the forward half of the wall, and then whatever side they're going to be on. So if there's a chance for it to be on left or right, then it'll be on the side of the ship that it's on, because the ship is rather big, just so that you can have somewhat navigation around here. This is the main corridor that's going to go from left to right all the way through. So once you get here, if you go to the one end, there's nothing down there yet, and then this side has that med bay. Downstairs, we've got a docking area where I've got one of the mining ships, I guess the only mining ship. The other ship that I have outside has a little jump drive. But here I've got a couple of big doors. This whole area is not airtight. I'll maybe get to that. I didn't really care for it to be airtight or not. And this way is the engineering section. I'm still trying to mess around in here, see what's going on. I like this style of stuff. It makes it look like it's supposed to do something, and it's still somewhat functional as well.
It looks good, bro.
Thank you. And then I had to put this little walkway in here. Originally, it didn't have the walkway to get in between the two halves of it because the ship is pretty much mirrored. And I'm like, damn it, I have to put that in there. So I had to reorganize it a couple of times just to get through, because otherwise it was just driving me crazy. The ship is pretty much mirrored. That other door goes back into the hangar space, and then we go back upstairs. Upstairs, we're back onto that main deck, and then the main deck has an upstairs to it. And this way, we've got another little through room. I'm going to make this into an executive conference room or something. Right now, it's the only place with windows. I'm still working on windows and stuff, because I want real windows and fake windows all over the place. Here's our primary bridge. I'm going to set these up so that I can sit in the captain's chair and fly the whole thing with the remote control if necessary. But those two seats up there, those work for the flights at the moment. Currently the grid is static just because I haven't moved in a while, and it makes it easier to do work on it without it burning through fuel. This will just be a small conference room over here, and then captain's ready room on the other side. That's about it so far.
It looks amazing.
Thank you.
The same ship that you built on my server?
No, this one's substantially larger. I think that one was probably all of 15, 20 blocks wide. This one has a radius of 25, so it's like 50, 51 something blocks. This thing is massive. Hop in the chair and then go to third person. You'll just see how large it is. This thing is huge. Absolutely huge. It can still move pretty decently for being such a big ship, but I think I've passed the point where you've got the diminishing returns, so you can keep adding more thrusters and more gyros, but the amount that you would need in order to make this thing move somewhat fast is going to be a huge PCU sink, and I think this is already at 26K or so, and I still haven't even completed it yet. So it's probably too big for what I want, but it's in that good realm of size.
Bob, can you land this thing on a planet?
Not on a planet, on one of the moons. I dropped it off on Europa to gas up once. Yeah, it'll go to the moons at that 25. Even with two full containers full of ice, it'll still do good there, because it's got 6 large hydrogen thrusters down. But the planets, absolutely not. I know, because I've taken it into test server and tried to find the air leak stuff, and I'm like, whoa, will it fly? And it will not. It's too heavy. Plus, it's just heavily laden with cargo right now. It's got fat stacks of iron that I'm using to build it out.
It's like you need a lot of PCU.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a big project. This is a lot bigger than I expected it to be. I'm like, oh no, I'll just frame the hull and, put in some simple stuff in the inside. And nope, it grew way too much too fast. But it's a good learning experience because I just made one of the Terran battle cruisers from StarCraft, and I'm like, oh, I should practice interior, so I made that, and that was a huge nightmare too. But I learned a lot, and then I tried to apply some of it to this. Things like having the floor be one color and your walls and ceiling be another, just to have a sense of separation and distinguishment on there. And then I stumbled into a bunch of cool things that I like too. So that that Terran battlecruiser, it still had floors that were a block and a half or 2 blocks tall. But whenever you go to use these stairs, because they're 2x1 slopes, they won't traverse that 2 blocks of height that you want on there. They'll get up 2 blocks, but you still need to go up a third to be on the next floor. For this one, it just so happened to be that my floors were staggered apart just enough so that this main corridor will allow this illusion to happen using those 2x1 slopes on there. But I have to cheat it in some places. If you see up there on the bridge, there is a gray section here in the back, and I put down plates that you're actually walking over on it as opposed to the actual floor. And that's because this part right here is the actual corridor from underneath. And I didn't want it to be a different color, so I just slapped some gray plates down on it. And that way you can still have it be roughly the same floor color, because the floor gray is different from the wall gray. And there are places, too, where I mixed up my grays. I'm like, oh, no, I had the wrong color when I placed those down. Wonder if it's airtight up here yet. I was working this upstairs area a lot yesterday. It looks like it's pretty decent. I might run a vent up here, or at least allow some of this downstairs stuff to come up. We'll see. I was just farting around with it at the moment.
I get lost in this thing.
Oh, I got used to it real fast. That's why I tried to keep the lighting to the forward. I know that all this stuff here is in the back. And we can go and see the, or I guess you already saw it if you went to the third person. Out this way, the unfinished area. So it's got those 2 parallel hallways coming out here towards the front, and it's just not done yet. I'm going to put like a cafeteria or bar or whatever other stuff I need up here in the front. My plan is to park this somewhere with a safe zone on it for a while, and I can make an actual transporter room with just a free-for-all safe zone, or a free-for-all survival kit while this thing has the safe zone activated. That way people can come on it and look at it while it's parked wherever.
I'm just watching the artist at work.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like, oh, I kind of want something to go here, but I don't know what. That's how this whole thing has been. I'm really surprised it's come out as good as it is. I'm kind of getting over the point of trying to perfectly plan things and just slap stuff down, because at least if I slap it down and I don't like it, I'll know what does not work, and then I can probably play off that. So that's my my plan going in here. I kind of want whatever room this is, like going to be like a bar or something, so you can use the front area as like some viewports. So I'll put some windows in here going forward. Do you have any thoughts of what should probably go in here? I'm just thinking of like the typical Star Trek bar area. So like have some seats near some windows and then a central bar. Mostly I just want to utilize part of the front to put in actual windows.
In forward, so to speak, right?
Pretty much. That was what was on the Enterprise D, but like all the ships tend to have something similar to that. Because I obviously don't have 10 decks. So I guess this would be 2 forward, which is a funny pun in itself. Kind of like how that back area where I had the dupe label, and then dupe is the name of the faction from Futurama.
I knew I'd heard that.
Yeah, I keep making jokes to myself, like everyone has to wear a red shirt in here. So everyone get the velour tops, no pants. Like Zap Brannigan.
You know, the guy with the red shirt always dies. First episode, first season, it's show.
Also part of it. It's like everyone wears a red shirt, so somebody's going to die. You don't have to feel bad about dying first.
Energy low.
I think that's okay. Now I just need to figure out windows. Oh, not just windows, but windows amongst other things. What am I going to put in windows? Half floors. What am I going to put in an overhead? You are 2x1 slopes. Get some girders in here. Because I could probably put a double window or something like that. That goes there. And I put another one here. Then I can look up and out. I mean, that should be fine. What about this guy? Attached over there. Don't want... that. Let's do that.
Energy critical.
How does that look for the window, though? You come in, then you see window slits. There we go. That's pretty neat. I like that. Am I going to do that for these glasses, too? Or I want these to be double pane. Like, that's a big feature out there. Ugh. I don't even know if I like it that much. That is such a big feature sitting out. That looks okay. It's a lot of glass up front, though. Oh, it'll be okay, because this is kind of a set piece area, too. Say that, knowing what I want this to be.
I like this shade of blue over here.
Yeah, I either stumbled upon that just by fiddling with things, or I stole it off of one of the other ships that I was ogling. Because I know I got the color scheme, like having the darker blue floor and then the white from, I think it was like the NX by 0 CMF, the Enterprise NX. That may be his color blue on there. But I used that same thing in the bridge. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm liking the blue. I was going to go for an orange, but I'm like, how do I make orange not obnoxious and be everywhere? And I couldn't really think of a good way. We are working on, it's going to be the 10 forward equivalent. So I'm going to have a bar. I'm going to want, I guess the bar is going to be more centered. And then the side areas can be more cafeteria-esque. Did want to see, where is statue thing? And then I can put some other, ooh, that's neat. I'll see what you look like as you go up, because I have not built this yet. Just a couple build stages there. That's pretty cool. So far, I've just been trying to lay out some things, just throw it down, see what fits. I really like the way these skylight pieces work in here. It's a double pane of glass, so from the outside, you kind of can see a little bit of the ship there as it arches down. And then from the inside, you can see out like a skylight. And it's got some of the structure there, so it's not just, you know, regular glass sitting in there in front of the ship, especially because I have so many. Power as a persistent problem until I seal off that area, which I guess I can do first. We've got oxygen and it's warm in here, which means I did make it airtight. And if I walk forward this way, boom. Now that I've lit up everything. Yeah, I can't do anything about that one panel because this is in the way. These panels make it airtight, so that's good. I've got some pretty cool sight lines out here. That looks neat. Can I sit here and then look up? Yeah, oh man. That's kind of neat. I like that. You can look up and see exterior pretty well. I don't like how we have the texture changes in those armor pieces, but I think I just have to deal with that. So couches to get to see those pieces are definitely something that I want to add in here. That looks really cool. And then I'll make like half of this cafeteria, half of this bar. Turned out to be a bit bigger than what I was expecting just because of this, but this can be a central feature. And like I said, I can get the LCD here in the back. I can definitely do 2x3, and I'll put the widescreen ones in there, which means I'll cut these guys out, which of course makes me not airtight. But then I can take this. I don't even know if this LCD is going to be appropriate for it. I'll have to mess with the text-to-image LCD maker to get that to work. But I know I can't use the existing image I've got on there. I was going to put a cargo container there, and that way I can just reach through, because I know those LCDs are not airtight. Or I could put a vent in there, and that way I can have the cargo container adjacent. But I'm not going to worry about that. So we have a very large space to work with, which is fine. Fine, we can work with it. We'll just have to do a lot of work to it, because I've got walls that are the wrong color. I've got decorations to put in. I need to fight the fight between exterior pieces of the ship that are one color and interior pieces that are another. It'll be interesting trying to see how to balance this as best I can. I want it to be big and open. I don't want this to close it off. I do want it to come forward. So if the plants go here. I think that works. I think that works pretty well. It occupies a lot of space, so it does take up a huge chunk in here, which is kind of what I wanted. Let's see here. That was a nice curved couch there. I kind of want booths. Let's come over here and work this. That can look neat, I think. I think that'll sell it. What else? Do I want like a TV screen here? I could, that's too wide, and I just do the same thing over there. Carve out the pattern in the ceiling, and I can have an LCD up above. And I can do the same thing here in the midbar too. Just, that probably is the better place to do it. Carve out a couple of pieces, and just hang LCDs there. Let's do that. Buy airtightness. There we go. I like that. Or you can either watch TV or have a menu up there or whatever. I think that's a pretty good bar ambiance. But that's looking pretty good. So there's your bar setup. Let's see here. Cafeteria. What are we gonna do? Again, I can have probably more focused on tables or the eating area, and then this is for serving. So if you like come in and get a food tray and walk your way down the line, that should be good. So let's go with that in mind. Now let's do actual seating area for food. I think that's more than enough seating. There's not going to be anywhere near that many people on the ship. I haven't even made crew quarters. Not that you need it, but I think it looks nice. You could host folks in here for stuff. Let's go. Dispenser. This vending machine doesn't actually do anything. I do need a place for our ATM just because I've got cash sitting everywhere. What if this block were the contract block or store block? What if indeed? These should be airtight. Don't look it though. It's on those two sides, so you can go contracts on the one side, store on the other. But then I'd have to pipe them. I'd have to pipe them through engineering. Else I could put them on this other wall, where they would not be so far away. Let's do that. That looks good. So I got a store on the one side. Contracts on the other. Actually, I could probably rip things out of here too, can't I? Oh, I can't. Oh, it will just let me double click. Oh, that's even easier. That's it's like cheating. This is my my new cargo container right here. I just grab things from the store because it's appropriately piped. There. Everything looks welded. My lights have been off this whole time, so that's the lighting that I have in there. I think that's pretty good. So we are well lit. I have all the lights set throughout the entirety of the ship. Let's go and just take a walk through the bar area here. We've got an expansive view. Cafeteria. I'll put fake food stuff up there for whatever's being served. We can come around and sit at a table and have a good view of the forward-facing area. I'll need to make my dupe image fit across this somehow. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. And then drinks up there. I think this is going pretty good. I think that's going to wrap it up for this installment. I don't have a whole lot else to do. So until then, go forth and build great things. See you then.